Okay,
What
sure.
is the ERLC? What do they do? And then let's talk about what are the concerns there.
It's an acronym for the Ethics and Religious Liberty Commission. It is an entity of the SBC. They're funded through cooperative program money, and they are you could say the public policy arm of the SBC. They exist to engage in issues in the public square, the civil square, on behalf of Southern Baptist.
What are the concerns?
Well, concerns is they've been out of step with the Southern Baptist Convention rank and file for a decade and a half now. Kind of started under the leadership of Russell Moore. I think it'd be fair to say that he began what would be seen as a clear drift and a separation from the concerns of regular Southern Baptist churches as those were represented in sort of our public policy arm. That separation of here's what Southern Baptists care about and here's what you're representing. That drift happened, really was highlighted during the first Trump campaign. Donald Trump is not an easy personality for Christians to process because on the one hand, there's a lot of elements of his life that all of us would go, that's terrible. On the other hand, in a binary situation where you have to choose between Trump and Clinton or Trump and Biden or Trump and Harris, we have to weigh realities in an imperfect world. And I think that most Southern Baptists felt like Russell Moore's representation of his view of Donald Trump was such a caricature and such a bend away from what they thought that why are we paying this guy? He left, and I think it's common knowledge. I think everybody this sort of open letter that he wrote, which was couched as a leaked letter, but really it was always intended to be public. That created some bad blood, and now you got Brent Leatherwood, who's the head of the ERLC, who is leading in the same way that Russell Moore led, and there just is continuing to be this sense that there's just a cleavage between this entity that we fund and what we actually believe. And it's created this question of, do we really need this anymore? And that's the debate that letters from publicly released letters notwithstanding, that debate's gonna happen at the Southern Baptist Convention this year.
There's just a reckoning there. I mean, I just think about the conversations that I have with church members as we get close to the Southern Baptist Convention. And I think that for at least 3 years in a row, the ERLC comes up every time. And I'm not telling people what to ask me. They're just saying, well, what are we doing with this again? That's the question. And as a pastor, how do I answer that question? It's like, actually, I don't know. I actually don't have a great answer for you because the things that you're bringing to me are valid concerns. And I think it gets to this issue of trust, is that when the issues come up, we're not actually talking about substantive things. So we're like trying to bring up substantive problems, but oftentimes I think a normal Southern Baptist can feel a little gaslit by the whole thing of like, why are you even asking that question? Like, what's wrong with you guys? Like, don't you see all these other people trust them? Like, you're the problem. You need to stop being so suspicious, stop believing a bunch of conspiracies about these things. That's one way to answer a question. Another way to answer a question is just to listen to it and to say, well, let me answer your question. Let me answer the substantive concerns that you have. And what happens as you do that over a number of years is you actually start building trust because you're answering questions in good faith. Even if you don't like the question, even if you think the question is even coming at you in bad faith, if you answer it in good faith, what that does to a normal Christian who loves the Lord and loves people and wants to see the gospel go forward is they say, I know that person's trying to answer my questions in good faith. And I think that we're just starving for that right now as Southern Baptists. And all of these issues that we've been talking about is, can we get substantive, not weird, strange, diplomacy things going on where we're like nodding at these people and nodding at those, but just answer the question. And
that's what we're not seeing.
That's what we're not seeing. And I think one of the reasons that
they're writing them off.
That doesn't resonate with pastors is, we're all congregational churches. So what pastors do all year long in their congregational churches is they answer questions from their church members. And so then when they go to the Southern Baptist Convention and they're a part of a massive business meeting that they lead back at their churches with Robert's rules and everything, and it feels like, okay, you're not doing what I do all the time with my people, and now I've got to go back to my church and I've got to answer this question for you, but you're not giving me anything to answer with. I think that's a major concern, and that's the reckoning moment. It's a reckoning of trust and then a reckoning of candor.